We'll go alphabetically first.
My first or last name.
Oh, well, we'll ask David Drew to present himself first.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm very proud to be here. I think it's a wonderful event. It's a way to get out and get our message out, introduce ourselves, and let you know who we are. I was born and raised in the state of New Hampshire. After graduating high school, I went to played for the Baltimore Orioles as a semi-pro baseball player for 1 year. And because I'm slower than a turtle, I didn't last more than 1 year. So that was the end of that career. So then I joined the Air Force. I was in the United States Air Force. I then transformed into, excuse me, the New Hampshire Air National Guard. Was there for quite a while. And then I was a part-time police officer, full-time firefighter for quite some time. I then decided I wanted to go to law school. Came out here to the University of Akron, loved the area, decided to stay. At that point, I opened up my own law practice. I was the prosecutor for the city of Stow from 1996 to the year 2000. I've had 25 years of practice with my own practice. I cover the entire state of Ohio, and I do everything. You name it, I do it. I've tried thousands of cases throughout the state on every level. Municipal court level, common police court level, the federal court level, jury trials, and I've done it in every area. I've done that in criminal cases, civil cases, juvenile, domestic. There's nothing that I haven't done. You name it, I've done it. Decided to run for law director, and basically one of the things that I think from the law director's position is that it is elected, and it should be elected, but it needs to be non-political and impartial. And as a result of that, I am not taking any donations from anybody because I don't like to hand out, say, give me some money so I have to return any favors. I'm also not seeking or accepting any endorsements in any way. I tend to the department to be fair and impartial and down the middle. So if you ask me a question, you're going to get a straight answer. Thank you.
Thank you. And Amber Zibitrosky.
Hi, good evening. My name is Zibitrosky, and I'm your current law director. I live here in Stow with my family. My husband is right there with my little son, being good for once, thankfully. Today is actually our wedding anniversary as well, so I'm spending this all here. So why am I the best candidate to continue to be your law director? I have served in the City of Stow Law Department for nearly 5 years. Since being hired in February of 2011, I've held and worked in every position within the law department. I was initially hired as the assistant law director and prosecutor. Within less than a year, I was promoted to deputy law director with the unanimous approval of City Council. In 2014, I was chosen over all of the other applicants for the job to fill the vacant position of law director, and again, was unanimously confirmed by City Council. I'm sitting here before you today because my work and my experience has proven time after time that I'm the most qualified person for this job. As law director, I serve as the city's chief in-house counsel. In order to perform the job effectively, the law director must have an in-depth understanding of municipal law. This includes planning and zoning law, public records law, labor employment law, Ohio ethics law, and constitutional law. As you can see, it requires a lot of knowledge and experience in many different areas and how they affect the city. Mastering these laws are not easy, and it takes a lot of experience in the field. Over the past 5 years, I'm proud of what I've achieved and accomplished. I've been able to represent the city in all courts of all levels, including local, state, federal, and even in the Ohio Supreme Court. I've been able to represent the city in agencies, including the State Employment Relations Board and the Equal Opportunity Commission.
All right, thank you
very much.
Thank you for that. We'll move to the questions now. Janet? Oh, now we're going to make the candidates open the envelope. Out of my script.
be discussed amongst the public is whether or not the law director's position should be elected. I think that's a very important discussion. I think that there are arguments on both sides, but I think it's been a while since we've engaged in those. On the one hand, I think it's great that the law director is elected. It allows us to be independent. Right now, we've heard a lot about nonpartisanship here. I am not registered, nor have I ever been registered with a political party. I come from a background where that's not what we do, and being elected allows that to happen. We don't have to worry about getting an opinion with, what the Republicans and the council might want or what the Democrats might want. On the other hand, the danger of having somebody in a law director position elected is that you could get somebody who has no experience with this type of law, and that puts the city at a great risk. You could also put the city at risk by getting somebody in here that perhaps has a conflict of interest, perhaps by virtue of either a family relationship or a marital relationship. For example, my opponent is the ex-husband for Dave. So I think that sometimes that can be an issue in making politic decisions on the law on a fair and impartial manner. So I think it's a discussion that needs to be had. I don't know what the answer is, but I think the city has not had this discussion in a long time.
All right, thank you. All right, now next to just a sticker on the back.
What ordinances should be updated or changed in the codified ordinances of Stow?
Interesting question. Just to follow up on the last comment, yes, Mayor Drew is my former ex-wife, so I think everybody knows that. I don't think it's an interesting thought. I do believe that some of the things we need to look at as far as updating is there's an interesting concept that has just come out, and following up on what Amber had said, we do need somebody with experience in the law director position, and they do have to be experienced, they need to be impartial, there needs to be no connections or outside sources or anybody to say, hey, you put me in the office, so therefore I owe you something. Now the reason why I bring this up is we've recently had somebody, I don't know if anybody knows about this, we had somebody arrested in the city of Stow. The reason why they were arrested is because the mayor sent out a letter to this one specific person and said, if you come into the city, you have to do A, B, C, and D, or else you're going to be arrested and charged with criminal trespass. Now, she had to have run that by the law department. Now, that was the most ridiculous thing, because what has happened is that person came into the city hall, was arrested, charged with criminal trespass. That case is now going to go forward on October 28th. And what that basically means is the mayor, on her own, for some reason, seems to think that she can change the law and pick on one particular person. You can't do that. You can't say, you can go in, but you can't. And these are the terms that you have to do with them. What that basically means is, let's say Janet D'Antonio decides that the mayor, they have a falling out. And the mayor says, I'll tell you what, you can, on 91, everybody else can go special speed limit, but you in particular, you have to go 15 miles an hour. And if you don't go 15 miles an hour, you're going to be arrested and put in jail. You can't make laws up. And as a result, the mayor and the law department had just bought the city a lawsuit, and it's about to come. And that's wrong. So.
Okay, thank you for that. And now we'll go to the general question. And the law director general question for both of you will be, any further comments? I didn't write these, I never sit on this committee, but they're wonderful questions. Let's go with Amber first.
I think that's my favorite comment.
Oh.
My favorite question here. Just to respond a little bit to the argument that Mr. Drew had made. That particular incident, first of all, I'm not at liberty to discuss at great length because I am the city's attorney and I take that role very seriously. But what had happened, in a summary of it, is there was a security risk. First and foremost, the mayor's job is to protect the employees that work there. It is not my job to judge on whether or not that is a real security risk. My job is to work with the mayor, and we worked and we crafted a letter that did not impede on the constitutional rights of this individual. He's free to come to any city council meeting, but he is not free to come and disturb the work process. It's completely constitutional. If a lawsuit does result, I'm more than confident that we will sail through just fine. And it's completely, and it was necessary for the safety of the employees working there. As far as other further comments, I want to also reiterate, I didn't get to this part of my speech, is that I really have a real passion for this job. This is something that I really devoted my whole career to. And it's something that I take seriously. I'm a member of the community. I'm not just this isn't a job that I just clock in and clock out. I work many hours. I work over the weekend. I did all weekend this weekend.
Thank you very much. David Drew, the same thing. Any further comment?
Certainly. I'm an attorney too. We don't know when to shut up. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, if there was a problem with this individual, it should have been addressed at the time. So if the person was a threat, they could have arrested him for that threat. If they don't want him there at City Hall, they could have sought a protection order. They didn't do that. What they did is they sent a personal letter to this particular person saying, you will be arrested if you come into City Hall without doing A, B, C, and D. That's a violation of their constitutional rights. It's a violation of their First Amendment rights, their Fourth Amendment rights, their 14th Amendment rights. There's probably nothing that it doesn't violate in this particular case. It doesn't give them their due process right. You don't tell somebody you can't come in. What is this person supposed to do? You can't single anybody. If you say, hey, everybody that comes in, they have to go by these rules, that's one thing. But you can't say everybody else has these rules, but you in particular can't do this. This is why we need experience, because an experienced law director would not have allowed something like that to go out. It's just ridiculous. I've been doing this for 25 years. Like I said, I've tried thousands of cases very successfully. I'm not sure my opponent here has ever tried a case, and she has less than 5 years experience. If she has, you'd probably count them on one hand. So, thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you both.